Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This is Andrea with I Dream of Crafting. This is going to be a really short tutorial on how to make card slots and ID slots. The videos I've been making, I think they just go too fast. So we're just going to take it slow and really detail it out. But I'm going to try and keep this, as short as I possibly can. In the interest of time, I have cut out all my steps here, so let me quickly run through and tell you what we got here. I'm just gonna make 3 card slots and an ID, something that I would use for a regular just bifold wallet. So all these are cut at 3 3/4 inches for your cards and your ID. So we have 1, 2, 3 green ones. These will be our card slots. And above each of these we have clear tape. I know it might be hard to see, but it is there. We have clear tape that is cut at the same 3 3/4. These two and these two will be for our ID slot. And this up here is a 4-inch piece of tape and cut into 1/2-inch increments. This will be for our trim for our 3 card slots, and this will be for the trim for our ID. For the card slots, this is all you need, material wise, supplies wise. Just an ID slot. Mine are 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. That leaves me a little bit of room for trimming if I have to adjust. And of course duct tape, an X-Acto knife, scissors, cutting board, and a ruler to make sure you get straight lines. Alright, so let's get started. After you cut out all your strips of tape, you're going to take your first one, your first card pocket, and you're going to line it up. And this one you're just going to cover completely. It's going, no matter how many pockets you're doing, if you're doing 2 card pockets, 3, 10, your bottommost pocket is always going to be completely covered. So let me show you really quick without doing that. So all of these pockets, there's 3 pockets. So always, 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 these bottom pockets right here are going to be completely clear taped. The others behind this are going to be, there's going to be some sticky exposed, and I'll show you that step in just a second. So your first one, if you're making 3 card pockets, just take your first card pocket and just completely cover it. Line up the sides and the bottom as best you can, and set it down and smooth it out. Alright, there's one. Now, your other pockets, a little bit different. So line it up on a line, and whichever one you want. We're going to go down here. So you want to line it up with the sides, but this one you want to go 1/4 inch above or below, however it works for you. Just make sure you have clear tape 1/4 inch off the sticky, and that there's at least a 1/4 inch of sticky on the duct tape itself. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go 1/4 inch above, line up the sides, and place it down. Alright, so as you can see, hopefully, there's clear tape up here. It's about 1/4 inch. And if we flip it over, this whole piece is the sticky until you get down to the bottom of the card. So if you have a design, let's say you have like Avengers tape, or something that you can tell has a top and a bottom, and you want the card to be a certain way, you want the design to be facing up. Make sure your sticky is at the top of your card. That is very important. So I'll say that one more time. If you have a design on your tape, make sure your sticky, the clear tape that is above the card, make sure that that is at the top of your card. Whatever you want your top to be, make sure that is where your clear tape is above. I hope I made that clear. If I didn't, please leave a comment and I will try and explain it some other way. So, one more time, this is our last card. Line it up on a line. Take your clear tape, and if your tape ever doesn't want to sit flat, you can probably see it. There's a little bulge right here. I hate when my tape does that. I always end up screwing it up. So what I do is I hold it on one side. I take the back of my nail and I just run it across a few times, and lo and behold, it lays flat. Just a little bit of a trick I've learned after 2 years of doing this. So once again, line up the sides and go 1/4 of an inch above. Once again, I learned this technique from Clover Duct Tape. I will put a link to her channel. And I think this is the best way to do pockets, honestly, because it saves on tape, and it's, you know, one step instead of just covering your pockets and then using extra tape as connectors. And here you have a built-in connector. So I really do like this way of doing pockets. Alright, so we're going to move on to our ID slot. So make sure you have your plastic. And so one color, usually one color is going to be shown through your ID, and the other color is going to be behind the ID, and it forms your hidden pocket. So for this wallet that I have in mind that I'm making these for, the red is going to be, I call it a display pocket, along with this card pocket that is completely covered. I also call this a display pocket because those are the ones that are exposed and that you see the whole thing. So the red will be the display pocket. So we're gonna work on that second. The green will be forming the hidden pocket. So just line it up on a line. Take your second piece and overlap by 1/4 of an inch. No more than 1/4 of an inch. And take your ruler, and for the hidden pocket, you want to cut it at 3 inches so that it's 3 inches high. Okay. Save your scraps from this step. You will be using them. You should get in the habit of saving your scraps anyway, because you never know when you might need it for the project. I try and use every scrap of tape that I have until I'm sure I'm not using it anymore, or that I'm not going to use it for something else. So, clear tape. Now, once again, this is your hidden pocket. The hidden pocket is a little bit different from this, from your display pocket. So for your hidden pocket, the 3-inch one, you're going to completely cover the bottom of the pocket. So line up the bottom and the sides with the clear tape and smooth it down. Once again, you don't have to use clear tape if you don't want to. You can use duct tape. Your pockets are just going to be a little bit thicker. But if you don't care about that, then go for it. Use use duct tape. I just use clear tape. I like to save on the duct tape because clear tape is a little bit cheaper than duct tape. So now once you have the bottom done, we're going to clear tape the top, but leave 1/4 of an inch. So I really hope you can see this. So let me show you. Let me bring it a little bit closer. So I line it up on the 1/4 inch above a line, above an inch line, and then I line up my clear tape on that inch line so that I'm certain that I have it at least 1/4 of an inch. Alright. Now you see I'm a little bit off here. That's perfectly fine. Just make sure, if you do that, just make sure you trim off this clear tape that's on the side here before you attach it. Having a little bit of sticky on the other side isn't going to matter. Alright, there is a hidden pocket. You also need scissors. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. You can also do this with scissors if you're afraid of X-Acto knives. That's perfectly fine. So there is the hidden pocket. Now we're going to move on to the display pocket, or the display, yeah, I'm just going to call it, it's not really a pocket. So we're going to line it up on a line, just as before, line it up on a line, take your second piece and overlap by 1/4 of an inch. And for this one, for the display, you want to cut it at 2 3/4. Alright, save that. We're going to flip this over. Alright, and this one is very simple. It's just like your display wallet or display card over there. You're just going to cover the back completely with clear tape or duct tape, whichever you're using. Just cover it completely as best you can. Try not to have any sticky showing. Alright. And line up the top and the sides. Alright. And there is that. That is completely covered. So now what we're going to do is we're going to leave this ID alone because this is going to take a bit, but we're going to trim our card pockets. So for your display card, the one that is completely covered, just line it up on a line. Take your first piece of trim. If you line it up on the line like I do, I line it up on an inch line up top and then cut down. Your last one is going to be a little bit skimpy. It's not going to be completely a 1/2 inch. That is actually perfect. We can use that for the ID plastic, and we will get to that in a second. I just wanted to make note of that. So out of every 4-inch strip, you can get 3 1/2 inch and 1 little baby one. So we're going to take our first one, and for our display we just want to go down 1/4 of an inch onto the duct tape, smooth it out, and I have some hair on that one. There we go. Try not to get any crinkles. If you do, you can just take it up and lay it back down and smooth it out. Alright, then you want to flip it over and smooth it out on the back side. Alright, and there's your first one. All your card pockets should have a 1/4 inch border or as close to it as you possibly can get it. Obviously it's not going to be perfect because we're humans and we don't, we're not perfect. Just try and get it as close as you possibly can. So for these pockets with the 1/4 inch above, I line up the duct tape on a line so that I have my 1/4 inch on the 1/4 inch above, and this tape above is going to be our trim. So just line up your tape with that 1/4 inch line. I do try to get just a smidge onto the duct tape just to seal it, but not much because you don't want to overshoot that 1/4 inch. So get it as straight as possible, smooth it out, then flip it over and smooth it out on the back. Alright, there's number 2. So as you can see, even though this pocket is a little shorter, they have about the same trim so that it'll look similar on the wallet. It's kind of like an optical illusion. Even though this card is bigger, they're all going to look about the same. So we're going to trim our last piece, our last card pocket. We're going to put it down. smooth it out and flip it over. Alright, and there we go. They're all done. And you could take your scissors and you want to trim. So if you see any clear tape sticking out from beside your wall, underneath your wallet, just trim that off along with your little pieces of trim. Same goes for these. Just don't trim off too much or you'll make the card pockets too small. You really want to try and keep them at that 3 3/4. But a little trimming is okay. Alright. So, these card pockets are ready to go. Now we're going to work on the ID. So, the first step is to attach the display to the plastic. So how we do that is we take this piece that we took off the display to make it 2 3/4. We're going to, it has this ID plastic, I hope you can see it, has a long side and a short side. So you want to take your long side, line it up on a line. I find it easier to do it, you know, to flip it on its side so that the long side is facing me. But however it's easier for you, take your tape and put it on the plastic 1/4 of an inch down and keep that line all the way across the plastic. So that is 1/4 of an inch on. Now you're gonna take your display piece. Once again, if it's a design, decide right now which way you want up. And what I like to do is I can see it. It's probably really hard for you too, but I can see where the plastic is, and when you're doing this, you should be able to see where the plastic is as well. So I like to line this up with the edge of that plastic, just below the sticky. And once I got it there, then I just fold this over. Alright, and there we go. Now you see I'm a little bit over, but that's fine. Like I said, this measurement allows me for some trimming at the end. And I can even do even more trimming once it's in the wallet if it's too long for some reason. So I do like this design. I think I failed to mention, and I'm sorry, that before I start any wallet, I do a strip of clear tape that is 8 inches long, and throughout the entire wallet I cut out 1/4 inch strips for certain things. So if I was attaching this to a wallet, let's say this is on a bifold right now, or I'm sorry, a billfold, not a bifold. So let's say this is, I have tape underneath here. I would attach it, and then I would flip it over towards me, and I would put half of this on the billfold, or on the card, and half of this on the billfold behind it. And this just seals it so that over time this sticky part doesn't come up and then it catches your cards and you're fighting to get your card out of there. So that's what I use my little 1/4 inch strips for. As I said before, you can use duct tape, of course. It's just going to be a little thicker. So for this application, now that you have your card slot, or I'm sorry, your ID, at this phase, you're going to open it up, and you have sticky right here, right underneath, the plastic, and between the plastic and this duct tape, you have a little bit of sticky. It's almost impossible to get that so tight that there's no sticky. So you're just going to take your clear tape and place it right over that seam. And I like to use my nail and push it into that seam just to make sure it's, in there solid. Then you can take your scissors or an X-Acto knife, whatever you feel comfortable with, and you're going to trim that off, the excess, and then fold it back over on that seam just so it gets used to being folded. And there you go. That is step 1. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this little piece of trim. So if you're looking at your ID like this, like I'm looking at it face on, flip it over so that it's now facing the camera, or you know, if you think about it, flip it and show your friend who is sitting across from you. Open it up and flip it over so that you see the back of this. Line the side of the plastic up with a line, and you're going to put this on no more than 1/4 over. It depends. If you're following my measurements for this video, I put it on a little bit short of the 1/4 inch because this strip is not exactly a 1/2 inch. If you had a 1/2 inch strip, you could go to the 1/4 inch. If you're using my measurements though, go a little bit shy of the 1/4 inch, and then follow that up. Then flip it over. Now, if this was any bigger, if I folded this over and then looked, you would see this white here, and that just doesn't look good. So if your piece is any bigger, and sometimes even these little pieces will show, just when you fold it over, always look and make sure that there's nothing showing through, which I don't. So you can take your scissors and trim that off, and there you go. Now you have your ID that's all trimmed out with the display. So now we're going to move on to attaching our hidden pocket. So we're going to take this little piece of tape that we got off of this piece from cutting it to 3 inches. Once again, we're going to show your friend your ID, then open this up. Now you're going to take this piece of tape and you want to line it up with your trim. Especially if you have contrasting colors like this, really try and line that up so when you close it, you don't see it. So that's pretty good. I can see it a little bit, so I'm just going to move it over just a touch. And there we go. That's a little better. Alright, so we're going to lift this up. Now, your sticky needs to be above your ID. So when you flip this over, okay, there we go. When you flip this over, make sure your sticky part is on the plastic. Now just line it up with the bottom and the side. Now before you fold this over, make sure your sticky is not going to get caught in this piece when you fold it over. I look pretty good. If it does, if for some odd reason your measurements are off and your sticky is way down here, just move it up so that it's clear, and then you can just cut this bottom off. But I'm looking good, so I'm going to move this back down to where it was. I'm going to line it up with the bottom and the side. And then I'm going to take this and just fold it over. Smooth it out. Flip it over and trim. Alright. And there is a finished ID. So I just wanted to make this video to quickly address the card pockets, because every time I did it on my other videos, it didn't feel like I addressed it completely the way I would have liked to. So I hope this video helped. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments below. If this video helped you, if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. And I will be posting more videos soon. So thank you for watching. Have a great day.